Or two shy of the 30. They'll run it for the first time with Alvin Kamara. And he'll take this up near the 35, maybe the 34. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
All right, Brand, I know we're in the early going here, but those kind of runs, they're going to open up a world of opportunities for this offense going forward.
And he'll get 2, maybe 3, up near the 37. And that's some good tackling there to keep him short of that yellow line.
Yeah, and defensively, all I'm thinking is that on that play, get me to 3rd down. Get me into a position where I can make one more play and get my defense off the field.
Here's Kamara trying to run for it. Look at the spin.
Balance.
And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. A good gain of 14 there, and it moves the chains. So after the run by Kamara, now another 1st and 10. They go play action here on 1st down. Toward the sideline, and look at that catch. Dragging the toes, and that's going to be a 1st down. Well done. 17 more yards on that one as they keep the drive rolling. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. Throwing on first is Garoppolo. Trying to fight his tight end, Kelsey, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 22. And his guys are going to take over at the 21-yard line. Kelsey, the intended receiver there. He's coming off a 3-interception performance last week, so certainly not how he wanted to start here.
Not at all, but this is where a quarterback gets tested. This is where we find out what he has underneath that jersey. Because he had a bad game last week. Can he shake off a bad start to this one and start to perform at the level he expects?
And he's going to be grabbed and pulled down.
Well, we knew coming in it was going to be a long afternoon if they weren't able to hold up against this pass rush, huh?
What we didn't know was that protection was going to spring a leak on the first play from scrimmage.
Got after him right out of the gate.
And they need to work to at least get some of this yardage back after the sack. 2nd and 19. A strong run. And nothing doing here as this time the run maybe gets them back to the line of scrimmage, but that's it. No gain on the play this time, and it'll be a 3rd and long situation coming up. Third and long for Kaiser. Going deep for Moncrief. Oh, he almost picked it. Nearly a turnover there on their opening drive. And that's a throw he'd like to have back. Now 4th down.
But that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, have them back on their heels.
Give them 11 yards that time on the return. And the Saints will take over with a 1st down and 10. Out onto the field comes New Orleans. That opening drive ended with the INT. It didn't lead to points, but still not the way they were hoping to begin the game.
But how about going and telling your defense, thank you, a huge thank you. You said it didn't lead to points, stalled off that drive. Now they've got a chance to redeem themselves, maybe reward their defense a little bit by putting some points on the board on this one.
Touchdown, New Orleans. A big play there. With touchdown number 8 on the year. And the Saints have taken the early lead. And on that long run, maybe the defense caught napping a little bit.
The concentration level may not have been there. I agree with you on that one because those types of plays, when they result like that, they're almost like big bolts of lightning, aren't they? Whoosh, and off he goes.
This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And he's able to get it across the 20, but not by much, as he's marked down at the 21-yard line. Atlanta now coming out on the field. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. Give them 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7. Off the play fake, Kaiser. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Jordan Poyer.
You're looking there at a defensive back who's maybe a step slower than he was when he came into the league a decade ago. I know I questioned his speed coming into the game, but what he's lost in speed, he's more than made up for it with intellect. And that's a great job of knowing how to position himself to make that interception.
Now a first down carry. It's Camara. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. Ricardo Allen, the safety, makes the stop. Getting the sense, Charles, they're going to put a big emphasis this afternoon on the run game.
And why not? What we're seeing so far, working pretty well from them. And here's the best part. We always talk about the best performers do their job when the lights come on. I think he likes natural light best.
That throw good for only a couple. It brings up 3rd down. A good chance this is 4-down territory if they're unable to convert. But right now looking at a 3rd and 3. Here's Garoppolo to throw. And it's complete. Henry. And he'll go out of bounds inside the 15-yard line. 23 yards on the play.
As far as tight ends go, this guy's not a speed burner. He's much more of an inline blocking type of a tight end. But how about this last play? Made a nice catch and picked up a first down.
That's what impresses me about him. When he's called upon, he usually gets it done. Camara. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down.
So if I'm an offensive coordinator, there's one thing that I know for sure. This is one of the top 5 teams in the NFL against the run. So when I look at my playlist, I'm probably thinking about throwing it.
On 2nd down, Camara. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of 2, now 3rd down. Throwing is Garoppolo on 3rd down. And that one is incomplete. And it also concludes quarter number 1. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. It's Saints football to begin quarter number 2. They are, however, facing a 4th down situation. And Parkey's kick is good. And the lead moves to 10-zip. So the drive stalls out inside the 15-yard line, but they do get 3.
And I've talked with enough players nowadays, and when they have these types of kicks, that no one says to their guy, hey, that's just like making an extra point, piece of cake. Because the extra point is not a piece of cake anymore. But kicking a field goal from that distance, just give him confidence and let him knock it through.
And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. And here now come the Falcons. And this is a unit that, to be frank, doesn't look like they've woken up yet. I mean, a punt and a turnover on their first 2 drives.
And I think the game's starting to take shape a little bit now. And I'm going to take it into the basketball world. When you're having trouble scoring or moving the ball in basketball, what do? Get it to their best player, right? Find a matchup, create it, exploit it, and try and move the football.
Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. Touchdown, Falcons. Dante Moncrief. His 6th touchdown of the season. And the Falcons are able to show off their quick strike ability.
As a fan, is there anything prettier than a well-executed post route?
No, it's a thing of beauty, especially when it's done like that for a touchdown.
The throw, the catch, and how about the run after to get it to the end zone?
This is taken about 7 yards deep. And he'll be brought down at the 23, make it the 24-yard line. Out onto the field comes New Orleans. And they're not going to play this conservative, I don't think. They had the field goal last time, and they're up, but they're looking to put a drive in the end zone.
Oh, I agree with you totally. No one goes out on the field and says, all right, let's just settle for 3 except in certain situations, trying to ice a game, that sort of deal. Most of the time, it's end zone, and that's what you're thinking, and I believe that's exactly what they're thinking as they begin this one.
Yeah, no quarterback ever goes out there saying, hey, let's get 3, right?
Not one that I've ever met.
First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's 2nd and 12. On 2nd down, here's Garoppolo. And the Falcons get there. The Falcons get the sack. Down he goes. And now following that sack, looks like we've got an injured man down there on the field. Well, he gets attended to. We'll step aside. After the sack, they'll come up now 3rd and long.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see them run the ball here just to try and get some space.
Stafford. He's letting it fly for Cooks. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked up by Keanu Neal. And he's able to get it back to right around the 27.
Well, Brandon, there's no question who they're going to look to on 3rd and long, but you can bet this defense knows that as well, so they've got him blanketed downfield. And this ball winds up being intercepted.
Now they try the right side here. And he'll take this down just shy of the 25-yard line. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half, maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
Now a 2nd down throw for Kaiser. And he fires one incomplete. The turnover put him in great field position. They don't want to squander it with 3rd down coming up.
No, not at all. And you know what else you do? You make your defense mad.
Yeah.
They got you the football, gave you a great opportunity. You got to cash in and get some points.
So the failure to connect on 2nd down, that leaves him staring up here at a 3rd and 8. Kaiser now being chased out left. Finding Gabriel complete. And they will eventually get him down, but he's inside the 5 all the way to the 3. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. Working out of the gun. Here's Kaiser. In trouble, and he'll go down back at the 12.
That I'm struggling to understand a little bit. That close to the goal line, 1st down, run the football. If you want to throw it, throw some play action on 2nd down.
2nd down, Kaiser. Throwing over the middle, and it's incomplete.
I know coaches tell us all the time that having a powerful arm isn't the #1 thing they look for in a quarterback. But when you're trying to throw inside routes and you need to put some heat on it, it helps have the big gun. In this case, just a little bit too much.
The crowd here in the Dome making things difficult. 3rd and goal. From the shotgun, it's Kaiser. In trouble, and he'll go down back at the 12. J.J. Watt able to get him down behind the line of scrimmage, and it'll be 4th down. And his kick is right there. It's good, and that will knot us up at 10. They had it 1st and goal, 3 attempts, couldn't get it in, so they settle for 3.
Yeah, the field tends to shrink a little bit the closer you get to the goal line, doesn't it? It doesn't sound right. It sounds like counterintuitive. But you run out of space to run the deep routes, so they can just sit on the shorter stuff if you're going to throw it. If you want to run it, there's just not as much space. They end up having to take 3 there.
They begin on the ground with Kamara, and he'll get this one up to the 26. Just a yard on the 1st down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
And this one will go to the 28-yard line. Call it a 1-yard gain on the play, and that's going to bring up a 3rd down.
Stay 50, stay 50.
A shotgun snap for Stafford. And it's complete to Kelsey. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. And that one results in 35 yards. So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for 1st and 10. They'll run it now out of the gun. 11 more on that one and another 1st down. We've seen him break off a big run already in this game, and for a second, that one looked like it might be another.
Yeah, I think that any defense would say, look, we can't let him get to the second level because sometimes he'll break off the big run on his own, but oftentimes you get additional blocking at the second level, which gets you deeper into the secondary.
Set, lady.
Staying on the ground on 1st with Kamara. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. He'll get a nice chunk there on the 1st down run, and it's 2nd and 4. The Saints in the hurry up here, clock continuing to roll. To throw on 2nd down to Stafford. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
It's been my observation there's been a nice variety of play calling defensively. You and I often talk about an offense's ability to keep a defense off balance with what they're doing. I think the converse has been true in this game.
Yeah, I think you're right. They seem to have gone off tendency quite a bit, but only the 2nd quarter, a lot of time to change things. Now Stafford. Throw complete right side to close. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. Give him 10 yards there as this offense is on a roll. This drive continues to plunge forward. Back to the ground. It's Kamara. And he'll get this one down to about the 10-yard line. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
Now that call makes sense because they've been throwing it well on this drive, and once again they show passing formation, showing the shotgun. Then they ran out of it. That's a nice play by them defensively, though, to hold it to a short gain.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And a short pickup there down to about the 9. And now a timeout defensively by the Falcons. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. The Saints on 3rd down. They've converted 4 times out of 6. Not bad. This is 3rd and 8. Out of the gun, Stafford. Oh, a hit. He lost the football. Stafford puts it on the ground. And the Falcons say they have it. They do. A bad 3rd down mistake there.
Points were already on the board in their mind. And that's the worst part about it, right? Because it's just like in golf. Never count it in the cup until it rolls in there. Otherwise, you can really get messed up with your scores. In this case, you know they thought, hey, at least 3, maybe even a chance to get 6. It's a little bit demoralizing going off the field now that you've turned it over and you come up empty.
Yeah, if he holds on to that, at least the field goal on 4th down, now they lose it. And they work this well upfield across the 45. A really nice gain of 25 yards. So 1 play, and they're already just shy of midfield.
Flex round, flex round.
On 1st and 10, Kaiser. Going deep for Moncrief. That's caught inside the 20. And all the way inside the 15 before they drop him. And now we won't see a play on 1st down. We're going to get a timeout instead, as they get it right at the 32nd mark of this 1st half. So how about this for field position after the big play? Inside the 15 now as they come up on 1st and 10. From the red zone now, Kaiser looking for Moncrief, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Von Bell. Oh, and now he bowls him over. He's got a convoy, and he might be gone. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown.
That was an interception, but on the field, the guys who are picking it off, they're not saying that. What word are they using? It's Oski. And that means catch the ball and go the other way.
That's your vernacular. I've never heard anybody say Oski.
Ask around. They'll tell you.
Parkey adds the extra point, and that makes it a 17-10 score. That'll be taken in the end zone. And now running right through it. And he'll make it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. Now the Falcons offense, they get ready to head back out here. And from this spot in the field with the clock where it's at, you think we're just going to see a knee and that's it?
And I think in this situation, that's the proper play. But we do know there's some risk takers out there that may want to take one more shot before the clock runs out.
They'll throw here. Kaiser, he sets to fire deep. And that is incomplete. 2 seconds left on the clock. Once again, they'll go from the 23-yard line on 2nd and 10. Final play of the half. Kaiser. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete. So it's halftime here in New Orleans with the Saints out in front. As we send you on over to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman in our EA Sports halftime report. Take it away, Coach. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line. Now the Falcons offense gets ready to head back onto the field. They're close game, but they're going to need to do a little bit better probably here in half 2, no?
I would agree with that totally. I would guess it in the locker room. They talked about cleaning up some of the errors, but overall I think they wanted to be positive with them. Guys, we're right there. Just not playing as well as we need to. Let's pick it up. And we still have a chance to win this game.
Yeah, they do. We'll see if they can pick it up. Meanwhile, they take a shot to start the drive, but this is going to wind up incomplete. You know, despite the scoreline, I think they've got to like where they are here. They're on the road and just one big play away from getting right back in this game.
I'm going to follow right along with you because the spot they're in now is a credit to their defense. They've kept them in it by making the plays that they've made, and that just means you're one big score away from being right back there.
Now, the question is, can this offense step up and make that play? Because that's been an issue for them in this game. And he comes back with one complete. And he's got it past the 30 before he's hit and dropped. 12 yards there as they keep this drive rolling. It's another first down. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. Kaiser on 1st down. He's going to fire one deep, middle of the... And he's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Picked off by Jordan Poyer. And his crew will take over with a football at the 35-yard line. First possession of the 3rd quarter, an interception, so maybe a second-half tone setter.
Indeed, and not the tone they wanted to set. That's the equivalent of running out the wrong door and running into your pool instead of running out onto the field. A real dud for that one.
Has that happened to you before?
No, but I've heard stories about teams actually doing that back in the good old days.
A man who's been busy this afternoon, it's Kamara again. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line.
He has elite instincts from his linebacker spot. He's able to diagnose the run and flies in like a missile to stop that one behind the line of scrimmage.
From the gun on 3rd, Garoppolo. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything that warranted a flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket. And it's taken in at the 9. Gets around him. Oh, and now he bowls him over. A great return there of 22 yards. And the Falcons will be taking over 1st and 10. Here are the Falcons as their offense heads back onto the field. We have not seen much on offense here from either side these last few drives. We've hit a wall, so to speak.
And have hit it hard, haven't we? Because the defenses right now, they seem to be a step ahead, don't they? Beating them to the point of attack, beating them to the punch. These offensive guys, they're tinkering like crazy. What's it going to take? to get back on track.
Yeah, both sides searching for adjustments. And they'll go on the ground. Nowhere to go that time. He maybe got a yard up to the 40.
I have to think a major focus of the halftime meetings had to be figuring out how to create space for the running game to get operating.
Well, what you pointed out to me at half seems accurate. That line has struggled to sustain blocks.
Yeah, I would agree with that totally. They've got to focus on staying on their double teams at the first level, make sure that block's secured before they slide off and try and chip someone at the second level.
And he'll be down deep into New Orleans territory. A big gainer there on 3rd and 1. 43 yards on the ground. So the big play means just like that, they'll operate from the red zone now on 1st down. Now they'll run it on the toss. He will push his way down to about the 14. Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8.
Looks like they're establishing a pretty good pattern here because they've been very heavy in the running game on the last 4 plays.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth. So far, 4 plays in this drive, all 4 on the ground. Now they'll run it on the toss. And he'll get about 3 just outside the 10, stopped at the 11.
I like the call. Inside the red zone, running the toss. Why? They want to get to the edges. They want to see if guys who don't normally make a lot of tackles are willing to actually do that. That usually means the guy's at the cornerback position.
Here's Kaiser. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
So that's back-to-back drives where they've thrown an interception. Ordinarily, we look at the offense and say, what's going on with your scheme? Maybe we should look at the defense and just give them a whole lot of credit. They've got them frustrated right now.
They start the drive on the ground. Kamara. And he'll be taken down for a loss back at the 3. He'll wind up losing a yard on the play, and it'll be 2nd and 11. A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. Garoppolo to throw on 2nd down. And the hit jarred loose. It's incomplete.
All right, let's go ahead and detail this situation here. 3rd and long coming up. Back near your own goal line. I would be very hesitant about throwing the football in this situation.
Maybe just run up the middle?
Yeah, I think that might be the spot for them. You got to try and find some space for your punter because you don't want him backed up where he has to alter what he does.
Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And they'll get him down up past the 15, just shy of the 20. They were looking for a cushion from that end zone. He gave it to him, 15 big yards. So a much rosier picture now after that last play. Here's 1st and 10 at the 19-yard line. Now a handoff. Here's Kamara. And he's going to lose yardage here. Back to his own 18. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
Doubling this guy has to be a priority before moving up to the next level because the big fella, he just ate that one alive, just stuffed it. In fact, before the game, he was talking to us, and he's like, hey, these pants make me look fat? And we said, nah, man, you're just a whole lot of guy.
He is at well over 300 pounds. He's a big man. Now Garoppolo throwing on 2nd. Drops this off to Kamara out of the backfield. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets him up for 3rd down.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And he's out of bounds, but not before a big pickup that time on what's going to wind up being the final play of the 3rd quarter. Garoppolo now, 5 straight completions here in this 2nd half, 1st and 10. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he stopped immediately there. No gain on the play there, 2nd down.
Well, we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
If nothing else, they've already taken a couple minutes off the clock here already as they come up second down. They run it again with Kamara, and he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. Give him 4 on the ground there. They're now left with 3rd and 6. The recipe's pretty simple, I think, right? Just give your superstar the ball, continue to feed him.
Yeah, don't overthink this one, right? Make sure he's touching the football, but you're also counting on his intelligence in playing the game as well. If it's not there, don't force the run. Just make sure you hang on to the football and keep the clock ticking.
Looking to throw, Garoppolo. Oh, no, he lost the football.
On plays like this, when the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
Here's Thomas Morstead now. He'll boot it away from about his 35. He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. Oh, good move. It'll be 37 yards there on the punt. And the Falcons will get it 1st and 10 from deep in their own territory. Here comes the Atlanta offense now ready to take over here. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. And, of course, they'd like to forget the ending, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part 2, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, you know, we had a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done.
And he'll have this past the 30 prior to going out of bounds. This drive starting off on the right foot, 18 yards. Well, there you go. Save your best scramble of the day for a big-time situation in the 4th quarter, picking up the 1st.
You don't want to use it up early, right? You want to make sure you save it for that exact moment, that key time. And that's what he did, although you and I both know it wasn't planned that way. But what a nice job using his eyes, scanning the field, and realizing when it was time to exit the pocket and go.
This is caught inside the 15. It's a big play there for Atlanta. 57 yards. And at this stage, down in the second half, looks like they just wanted to find a way to get it in the hands of their playmaker, and they did.
I think you're exactly right. I don't think the coordinator's looking at his play sheet and trying to figure out which play will work well. He's trying to figure out how to get the ball to the playmaker that you just described. Looking down at that sheet, you find people plays, not necessarily X's and O's, and that's exactly what they did there.
They'll wind up losing 3 yards here, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 13. To throw is Kaiser, and that one got tipped, kind of threw everything off. It brings up 3rd.
Brandon, at least there's one bright side to that incompletion.
What's that?
It wasn't an interception.
Wow. You're a nice guy. That was kind of savage. But correct. No pick, just incomplete that time. And they're going to lose some on this play. Being knocked back to the 18. Now it looks like we'll get a timeout as there's a Saints player down here on the field. While the trainers take a look, we'll step aside. And his kick is indeed good. And that will cut this lead back down to 4 now. It's 17-13. So an interesting call there to take the 3. I mean, I guess they're thinking that their hands were tied, but, you know, 4th quarter, that field goal might not help them that much in the end.
Yeah, eventually they're going to need the touchdown. The thinking must have been they didn't feel confident about picking it up there, hoping maybe on defense they can get better field position, get a turnover, get a better play, and then they'll have a chance to attack the end zone.
The Saints offense now, they get ready to head back onto the field. Right now clinging to a 1-score lead, Charles, and I think operating within that 4-minute offense with a little less than 4 minutes to go applies here, right?
It certainly does, and that means the playbook is still wide open. But you are a little bit more careful about what you're calling. You want plays that are going to gain yardage, how would you say it, consistently, right? You don't need the big shots downfield, but make sure the clock continues to run. Pile up the first downs. And the goal? End the game with your quarterback kneeling down at the end, and you still have the lead.
To throw is Garoppolo. Pressure brought in, and the Falcons get there for the sack. And now a timeout defensively by the Falcons. It's just their first. They'll be down to 2 remaining as we step aside here in the fourth quarter. So the sack of Garoppolo. And now what can they come up with on 3rd and long? From the gun, it's Garoppolo. He's going to look deep down the field. And look at this. They get the turnover they needed. It's intercepted. Picked up by Keanu Neal. And the return across midfield and to the 46-yard line. Thomas, the intended target. A critical... there in a tight game in the fourth.
All you talk about is taking care of the football, and especially with a lead here in the fourth quarter, turning it over, now the door is open for the opposition.
Just in general, when you're passing in the fourth quarter with a lead, no matter at what point, you got to be super careful.
Got to be careful, and sometimes you can be so careful that you end up running yourself into an error.
And he's going to get this inside the 30. They got 18 yards out of that one, and it gets them a new set of downs.
Another carry for their leader, and a good one. It's crunch time. They'll need him to continue to be productive in both the run and passing game in order for them to try and snatch a victory.
Right back to him on 1st down. And he went nowhere. He'll lose yardage back to the 29. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
Well, partner, I guess sometimes it's just a matter of philosophy. Some say run until they absolutely stop you, and others say, well, when you think they're about to stop you, fool them.
And he is into the end zone for a Falcon touchdown. Christian Kirk, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Falcons have taken the lead here in the 4th. Extra point right down the middle. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And he'll wind up about 4 yards shy of where he would have been if he had taken a knee, as they'll start at the 21-yard line. Now the Saints offense, they get ready to go back to work here. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football.
A crusher there as it's intercepted. It's Desmond Trufant. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Time for a break. We're back to see what happens after this. Some good games going on in the early window. This might be the best of the bunch. Now the Georgia Southern man. This is Jerick McKinnon. Got some room at the 30. And he'll take it to the 43-yard line. A big chunk on the ground there, 27 yards.
And they picked up a little bit of yardage there, and now, in this situation, should be in no hurry to run a play really fast. Let the clock wind down.
Running game working. They'll stick with it on 1st down. And he'll be taken down just shy of midfield. And now the Saints are going to take a timeout on defense as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming 2nd down play. So they come up on 2nd down. If they can get another run like we just saw, would likely put an end to this thing. Toss play to McKinnon. And the reinforcements come in as they're going to stop him behind the line. And the Saints signal for another timeout as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important 3rd down. On the toss, it's McKinnon. Whoosh. Touchdown, Falcons. Jerick McKinnon, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Falcons will add on to their lead.
Well, it'd be real easy to say that they are firmly in control right now, but I'm looking at your face and I'm thinking I've got to be careful with that.
Well, it's a 2-score game. You're inside of 2 minutes. I think you can breathe relatively easily now.
Yeah, you can, but still, you got to stay vigilant. Can't give up anything cheap and easy. That could put you in some jeopardy.
This is taken about 7 yards deep. And the decision to bring it out will cost him about 5 yards as he'll get this only back to the 20. The Saints coming out now to take the field. They might be thinking this is close to a lost cause here. Got to play it out. What do they need to do?
Well, they have a thought process in mind already, but they can't get ahead of themselves. They know that they need to score quickly.
Yep, 2-score game. And this is intercepted, and that should do it. Ricardo Allen with a pick. And a huge return as he'll take this one all the way down inside the 30-yard line. Charles, whatever's going on between his ears right now, it's just not completely calculated correctly. 7 picks between last week and this week after that one.
And they always say the most important part of a player is those 6 inches between the ears. But right now, it's all those interceptions that are going on. So whoever his trusted confidant is on the sidelines, I hope it's the offense.
And time finally runs out. He can't get rid of the football, and he's taken down.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
So after the sack, here's 2nd and 14. And they're throwing here. Kaiser, he's going to loft it deep right sideline. So the long attempt falls innocently to the ground, and it brings up 3rd.
One of the toughest things about playing defensive back is pattern reading, trying to figure out what they're doing. And on that one, they had the fly, just sending a guy downfield with the in route accompanying it, what people call a dagger route, trying to hit the guy underneath after the clear out. In this case, though, they're not able to get it done.
Yeah, they said forget the underneath route. They went for the guy on the fly, but as you said, incomplete. Flush to his right. Now he'll let it go deep left side. That's going to be caught. And he's brought down after a very nice gain. A big gain there, and that should certainly be enough to put this one in the win column. Well, they probably don't need to run a play here, but you wonder if they're going to be able to resist on 1st and goal. Now Kaiser steps away to his left. And he will score. Touchdown, Falcons. DeShone Kizer with his 3rd touchdown so far, number 13 now on the year. And the Falcons use the short field to their advantage as they cash in for 6. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. That'll be taken in the end zone. And a nice return sets them up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. Out onto the field comes New Orleans. They're down big here late. I don't know. You just one last drive here for pride?
Some people like to do that. I remember playing for a guy once. We were down huge, and someone said, "Coach, what do you want to call?" He just waved a hand like, "Who cares? Let's get out of here and do something some other time." But some teams like to do something at the end to feel a little bit better as they continue to move forward.
Yeah, probably just want to put this one behind them.
13.
Garoppolo now, 1st down throw. It fights him off. But in the end, the pressure too great, and he goes down.
Like the footwork back there, I thought he did a pretty good job of evading that first wave of players. Tried to buy a little extra time out of the pocket, but in the end, oh, that was a tough one.
Yeah, winds up getting buried for the loss. Charles, we saw a lot of points go up in this one. Certainly defensively, stuff that they could look at on film, don't you think?
No doubt about it. And they've got to go back and check where the errors are, how they're going to fix them, and continue to get better at what they do. But they also need a little adjustment with their confidence. To give up that many points, even if you win a game, that can hurt you.
So for Atlanta, the win moves them up to 5-2 now on the year. And they will head back home next week. Meanwhile, for New Orleans, things are kind of getting ugly as they drop to 1-7 now on the year. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves next week at home against the Chicago Bears. That'll do it for us. I'm Brandon Gaudin alongside Charles Davis. Thanks to our entire crew as well. We'll talk to you next time. So long, everybody.